Hey guys, welcome back to Nostalgia Rewind. I'm Kris.
And I'm West.
And today we're watching
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, When Nature Calls. We're skipping the first one.
Yeah. So Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls says Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, returns from a spiritual quest to investigate the disappearance of a rare white bat, the sacred animal of a tribe in Africa.
I barely remember that white bat thing.
It's the whole plot of the movie. It came out in 1995, starring...
Of course.
Jim Carrey, Ian McNeice, Simon Cowell, Maynard Izishi?
Simon Cowell?
Don't pretend like you know who that is.
Oh, I thought Simon Cowell, like the judge from American Idol. My bad.
Bob Gunton, Sophie Okonedo, Tommy Davidson, Adewale Akinnuoye-Agbaje. I'm gonna butcher a lot of these names. Danny Daniels, Sam Phillips. Maybe that was the only man's name that I was going to butcher.
I mean, that's just about everybody that you would know. Jim Carrey.
Know?
I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm assuming.
That's about it. So, When Nature Calls. This is your movie here. Oh, and of course, spoilers ahead.
So this is my pick. I grew up watching the second one so often and so much that I thought it was the first one.
Did you even know that the first one existed?
Like, I watched the second one so often that I didn't, and I still found out at a young age that there was a number one, and I ended up watching number one, and I did not like it.
Did you, before you found out that there was a first one, did you just think that there was one movie and it was the second one?
Yes,
that
I
there
thought
was
it
no
was the second
sequel,
one.
no first. Okay.
But I used to think, even while watching it, that they're referencing something from the first one. I'm like, oh, is there another one?
Is that how you discovered?
I think so, maybe. I don't know. I just know we had the VHS. My parents liked that movie. I like that movie, of course. And I like the Jim Carrey, of course, with that good old traditional slapstick humor. I thought, now knowing the first one and the second one, I think the second one brings it closer to the roots of it just being a slapstick comedy. I guess when I watched the first one, I thought they were taking Ace Ventura a little too seriously. While the second one is like a parody, is like probably what they didn't want, an exaggeration of the character, but I think it plays so much better because it's just a ridiculous character. He's basically my clown,
And he's not like that in the first one?
I just remember it being more like...
More tame?
Yes. More tame or just toned down in the sense that...
And they really took it to 100 in the second one?
Yes. Okay. Like in the first one, maybe he has like 4 or 5 ridiculous monologues or moments. While this one, they're just trying to do it back to back to back to back. I think... That
sounds awful.
This is nostalgia talking. Of course, yes. I honestly don't think this movie's going to hold up. I think it's definitely in there.
Is this going to ruin your childhood?
Nothing ruins my childhood because my childhood always existed or did exist and it happened. So no, this is just, reflection on the childhood. So I don't think it's going to ruin the childhood, but it would definitely bring in, I think, a better clarity to something that brought me so much joy when I was younger. I don't think it's going to hold up in the sense of like, when's the last time you watched like a really good slapstick comedy movie? Like a modern one, And I just feel like those type of movies have either fallen out of favor or they haven't innovated them enough for them to be still part of the zeitgeist and stuff. So I think this movie, in turn, being a slapstick movie, is going to be dated in itself. Kind of like Dumb and Dumber. I think we're going to get out of this in the same way that we felt with Dumb and Dumber. It's just a little dated, a little dumb. It's Jim Carrey, holding it together because he's doing it. But really, it's probably fart jokes. Like fart jokes, booger jokes.
Is this the one where he crawls out of the
rhino's butt?
Rhino's butt?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know about it.
And it's an animatronic rhino. So this movie, probably not going to hold up. Probably it's a nice little spot of nostalgia in my heart. I think some jokes are going to land flat, mostly because they're fart jokes or boy jokes. I think the premise is probably going to be dumb. Some things I remember are like the jokes where he's pretending like he's, on a bumpy road and he's not. And of course, him coming out of the rhino's butt. Or him releasing all the animals and knocking out the guy who looks like the Monopoly Man. And he calls him the Monopoly Man. And there are a bunch of... And then him like, basically like crashing his car and the car's like rolling and destroyed. But it lands perfectly in a parking spot. And then he gets out of it. some like classic slapstick humor-ish type stuff.
Yeah.
I love Jim Carrey. He was my comedian growing up, really.
I mean, he was everybody's comedian.
He was my comedian. Hashtag no one understands.
Well, so I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie. Or maybe the first one. I don't know. But I don't think I cared for it because I didn't watch it more than once if I did see it.
Fair.
I may just know only certain things like the whole rhino scene because that's like the most memorable one. That's the one that you put in like YouTube thumbnails when you're talking about Ace Ventura,
Yeah.
That's the clip. So I may just know those things because of people referencing them, or I guess I saw the movie once. I honestly don't know. This movie has there's nothing I can tell you about it. I have no feeling towards it.
That's so funny. No feelings, huh?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be good. I think I'm going to hate this. I think this is going to be a terrible hour and a half.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I made you watch Night of the Roxbury, and that was so
That was
blah.
terrible.
I think it'll be fine enough because I do enjoy Jim Carrey. Just this was not the Jim Carrey that I watched. I watched all his other things. For whatever reason, Ace Ventura did not make the cut.
When you think Jim Carrey, what do you think?
I think of like The Mask.
The Mask.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this movie, Ace Ventura.
Yeah. So, or Dumb and Dumber, or I don't know. But definitely not this one. Maybe my parents didn't like it, and that's why I didn't watch it as much. Maybe this took it too far, and they're like, oh no, we're not. I honestly have no idea why this one wasn't as seen as, why I didn't see this as much as the other ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have no feelings on it. I could leave it or take it, I guess it will be fun watching it.
I guess.
I do think I'm going to very much not like it.
Yeah, I think so too.
But
and that's okay. This is what this is for.
Yeah, I'm up for that. So I'm really curious, since I know this is your childhood. This is your Jim Carrey movie.
My VHS that I owned.
Yeah. This is your moment.
I mean, Waterboy was that too.
Yeah, I know, but I also really liked Waterboy.
Oh,
like that was
okay.
a joint thing. This is like a yours only. And I feel like I'm seeing into the mind of Lil Baby West. And yeah, seeing what you were all about at 5 years old.
Yeah, this is what I was all about.
Rhino butts. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be fine, I'm sure.
I'm sure. All right, let's just get into it then.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, here we go.
You gotta have the last word.
I said, here we go. Alrighty then. All right, we're back.
Just finished Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
Pet Detective. Oh, no.
Nope, the first one's Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Okay. So what'd you think?
This movie is way too much for me. Jim Carrey's character is, he's Jim Carrey. Like how he was in The Mask and Dumb and Dumber and everything else. The reason why it doesn't work for me is because I don't feel his character has a reason to be this obnoxious.
So yeah, he's basically like, you're watching a clown. You're watching a clown be a clown, but he's not a clown like in the story. So yeah, he's just being obnoxious.
Yeah.
With The Mask is because of The Mask making him act.
In Dumb and Dumber, he's an idiot.
His character's an idiot, but in this, he's actually a smart guy. He's just dumb. Well, he acts silly or dumb.
Yeah.
Or obnoxious or goofy.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the parts where like he knew what he was talking about. Like when he first meets the guy that hired. Yeah, when he's being a real detective. Like when he first meets the guy that hired him. He's like, so what can you say about me? And he's like, oh, you're a workaholic and this, that, and the other thing. He's like, oh, how do you know all those things? And then he calls him out and he's right. Well, for the most part. You find out later, whatever. Yeah. So and not only is his character just over the top, not only, is he doing his Jim Carrey thing, but his character is kind of a
Yeah.
Like, when they first get to the first tribe, the Wachuti? No, that was the other one.
The Wachiti. Well, first and foremost, the whole story is about him getting a bat because these two tribes are gonna go to war if they don't find this bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he when he first gets to the first tribe, they take him to the sacred hut or whatever, and then he steps on an area and they freak out and they're like, "No, that's sacred area. You can't step on it." And then when their leader turns around, he does like that childish like, "I'm not touching you," and he's like on it and
Yeah.
just being a dick.
So he knows better. The reason he comes off as a dick is because we know as an audience that he does know better.
Yeah, he's not a dumb character in this movie. So it's just... There was another part where he did something too. He's kind of an asshole with the rich people, but I let it slide because it's rich people.
Eat the rich!
But when it comes to like these tribe people or just the average day Joe Schmoes, like, it's being an asshole. Why you gotta be a jerk? It's uncalled for.
So, yeah. I think the movie held up how I thought it would hold up, like, enough. There's still some questionable things in there. And like you said, he does come off like it's kind of like a prank. Like he's doing pranks and they're not in good nature or in good faith or whatever the term is. So it does come off bad.
Like, who's this for? For yourself? Like,
a lot of the humor did derive from his wacky antics and the way that he performs the character and the sound effects and, you know, all that stuff is really, like I said, this is like almost pure slapstick.
For the most part, yeah.
Comedy, yeah.
Yeah. The rhino scene was still kind of funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I think the biggest joke for me that I just didn't care for was when he's on the plane with I don't know the guy's name, but he's on the plane going to meet this tribe for the first time and everything, and the lady, the stewardess, flight attendant, I don't know what the correct term to use anymore.
Flight attendant.
Asks him if he wants peanuts, and he's like, "Oh, I got one right here. I always fly with it carry-on. It's a bit bulky, but blah, blah, blah," you know, talking about his penis. And it was just gross. Like, this woman's trying to do her job, and you're being disgusting.
Yes, pretty terrible.
Yeah. Kind of like we just watched an interview recently, because, you know, Sonic's out. And she was like, "Oh, you've done this, that, and the other thing. Is there anything left on your bucket list?" And he's like, "Just you." He doesn't like say it super creepy like that, but it did come across wrong.
Yeah, if anything, if he didn't mean anything by it, he said it wrong. He
shouldn't have said it at all.
He shouldn't have said it at all.
Like, he could have meant like, "Oh, just like doing
this interview."
Yeah. But it did not come across.
That's
that
a weak
way.
defense, honestly.
It really is.
It's a weak defense.
Yeah. So I don't. It felt like that. Like, let this woman do her job, just like real Jim Carrey should have let that interviewer do her job. Don't be gross.
Exactly. The movie, like I said, once again, doesn't hold up entirely, but it was still funny for me, and I will say a lot of it rides on nostalgia.
Yeah.
You were laughing a little bit in some of the moments.
It did have its parts.
There are good jokes in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Deep under there.
I think ultimately this is probably a really good kids movie.
Yes.
If you're
Dated.
Yes. if you have kids and I don't know, you're running out of things to show them this. They probably won't get the penis reference if they're young enough. And the parts where he's being an asshole, they probably won't necessarily realize, 'cause I'm assuming you didn't realize he was being a dick.
No, I just thought he was being goofy and funny, and those things were just funny.
Yeah, so it's not like your kid's gonna turn into an asshole and start making penis jokes or whatever if you let them watch it. But yeah, it's a good kids movie. I'm sure if I watched this movie more often growing up, I would have the nostalgia for it like you do, and I would have enjoyed it more. I think it's just fine now. I don't want to watch it again.
What do you mean? We're doing an encore.
It was, it had moments where I chuckled, but ultimately it was too much. His character is way too much.
I will say that I think this is, once again, and I said in the beginning, is better than the first one. I think it's way better than the first one.
Yeah. I'm sure, we have some friends that watched the first one recently, and they were giving us a breakdown, and it definitely seems
worse.
Way worse. Yeah. Way more questionable content. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, he was so yeah, in the beginning he like drops a raccoon, and that's what makes him be like go up into isolation with other monks. I thought that was pretty funny. Starting off with the raccoon death.
It was super sad.
Yeah, it was sad.
I thought it was a dream sequence because I was like, no way are we starting a movie with him letting a raccoon die. Well, not letting. He really tried to save that raccoon. But it was real. And I understand that we needed to set something in motion for him to quit being a pet detective.
Yeah.
But did that raccoon really have to die?
For the sake of the story.
Couldn't we have done something else?
There's also a lot of dated jokes. So they got like the
Yes.
slinky going down the steps and they're not finishing. And
I like that.
I know it's funny like overall, but I guess they still sell slinkies. Some kid
Yeah.
out there is playing with a slinky. Never mind. But I thought it was a little bit of a dated
But
joke.
there were still other things. Like he makes a reference to HR Puffin stuff. He calls him something else, but that's what he's referencing. He quotes, say hello to my little friend.
Scarface?
Yeah. So there are a lot of references in there. Oh, he sings the theme music to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
But he is so wacky that I think he owns it. Like, if somebody were watching it, like, you don't need to get that reference.
I mean, yeah. But then, like I had said earlier, I just think they're dumb jokes.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Chitty Chitty.
Like, I knew all of those references, so haha, it's still funny. But if you show this to someone who hadn't seen it, are they going to still think those lines... Are they going to be confused by those lines? Or are they just going to let them pass because he's saying them wacky?
I think he's like, I would see it like a kid watching it, watches him do the whole Chitty Chitty Bang Bang bit, and be like, that's, I mean, unlikely that this will happen, but I was like, oh, that song that Jim Carrey sings, or that song that Ace Ventura sings, like, they wouldn't even know that Chitty Chitty Bang Bang's a movie or a song, and it's just something that he does to be funny. That's how I see that people would see it. So, it would be funny purely on his
That's that one in
performance.
particular. What about him quoting Scarface?
He said that funny too. Say hello to my little friend.
You're right.
And then he sprays him with the skunk juice. So once again,
Okay.
because there's lots of things that I didn't know as references in movies that I still thought was like, oh, that's funny, and then somebody tells me, I wish I had an example off the cuff here. But I've experienced that where I thought something was funny and and didn't know the reference.
Maybe I'm being
not
too
all of them.
nitpicky.
Maybe not all the jokes for Ace Ventura, but I say for most they will hold up. Once again, because he's outrageous.
Yeah.
That's it.
I can't really think of.
There was a lot less fart jokes than I thought there were gonna be. So I think the movie held up more for me because there was less fart jokes. I don't think there was any fart jokes. There was just a spitting joke and a snot joke.
Oh, that was disgusting.
Yeah.
That was no.
That's like pure Jim Carrey right there. Like, they're like, how do we incorporate snot into this?
Yeah. Ugh. That was so bad. I turned away and I was like, you let me know when this is done because I'm not. Even the sound of it was just like, ugh, too much. There's something else. Oh yeah, so when the tribe does a thing, I guess I don't know if it's every member of the tribe or just the men.
The warriors.
The warriors. Okay, so they have to stand on this totem pole for 5 days straight, and on one leg. And if they fall before the 5-day period is done, then they have to restart. So when he gets there, he goes and shakes the pole because again, he's an asshole. And then later on, he's sitting there throwing like spitballs at him, and you don't realize that he's hitting the guy. You're just like, oh, he's throwing spitballs in the air, whatever. And then a woman comes over and starts talking. She's like, oh, let me try. That
Which
looks
is,
like
I think,
fun.
the princess, or
Yeah, she's the one that is supposed to be getting married to, I don't know, the other tribe member. And she's like, yeah, let me try. So then she does it, and then they pan over, and you see that they're throwing spitballs at this guy that's trying to be a warrior. And it just made it worse that she's doing it, because even if she thinks it's a dumb tradition and doesn't care for it, like, it clearly means a lot to this guy, and he's really trying. He really wants to be a warrior. And they're just f***ing with him.
But that's part of the warrior endurance. Anything that comes at them. Spitballs.
Sure.
Random white devils. Jim Carrey.
Sure, yeah, I get that, because if it rained for 5 of those days and there was a dude standing up there, like, he would have to deal with the rain. I get it. Still, though, it was mean. I don't like it. I don't like people being mean.
It's mean-spirited. Yeah, definitely a little insensitive.
Don't be mean for no reason.
Yeah, a little insensitive to that stuff. You know, they say
if that's even a real tribe. I don't even know if
I don't
that's
know
a
either.
real
You know, like when he was doing
thing.
the greeting and it sounds like Bumblebee Tuna, and he's like Bumblebee Tuna,
yeah.
Bumblebee Tuna, and I mean, I don't know. It could probably, if it was any other race, like if you like, let's say it was like an Asian culture, or you know, just any other culture, and then somebody came in and it sounds like a word that's like.
It sounds like something else in English.
It
and
would
you
be
just say
pretty.
that.
It would be pretty offensive.
yeah.
It would be pretty offensive. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
domo arigato, you know, like, and being and just it already sounds kind of like ugh.
Yeah, it's a little questionable.
Yeah.
Bumblebee tuna.
Bumblebee tuna. And it's only funny because the word bumblebee tuna, I think, has some inherent funniness in it.
I think bumblebee is a fun word to say.
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee.
How many bumblebee tunas do you have? By the way, guys, if you get bumblebee tuna, you know, get it in the olive. Don't get that in the water stuff. Just spend that extra 30 cents.
If you can swing it.
If you can swing it, 30 cents is all you need, you know. A little sourdough bread, some cheese. Anyway, we're going to make tuna rewind. Tuna melt rewind.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that. Let us know.
So, I mean, I can't think of any other scenes really that stood out to me, any other jokes or anything. Just, yeah, he was over the top. It was too much for me. If you like it, I get it. I can see the appeal.
Yeah. Once again, I'm speaking as somebody who watched it. Nostalgia. A lot of it is nostalgia.
Yeah. So yeah, I can understand why someone would like it. For me, I don't know. I'm old and boring now, so it's he was loud, and I was like, shh. This is a library.
Oh, grandma.
Like I said, I think it'd be great to entertain children. You know.
Yeah.
Give that to a 10-year-old.
And, you know, if you ask me, I would say just watch this one. Skip number 1. But that's just me.
Yeah.
That's just me.
So overall, I think it's a fine movie. Fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It exists.
Yeah. For me, lives up to nostalgia. Same feelings as you.
Yeah.
But I think a little extra points because of nostalgia.
Because, yeah. I see that.
Let's move on over and mosey on down to the trivia aisle.
Trivia. Okay, so. When driving to the consulate for the first time, Jim Carrey forgot his lines, so instead started singing the theme from the movie Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Both actors stayed in character, and the director loved it, so they kept it in.
There you go.
It's a good scene. It is.
That's why that reference
funny.
is there. It was just a knee jerk. It wasn't even like written in.
Right. Good on them for staying in character. I think I'd probably be a terrible actor. I'd break every time somebody does something improv.
Stay on script.
According to Simon Callow, Jim Carrey didn't really want to make the film, which made on-set experiences awkward.
Wow.
Interesting. I wonder why he didn't want to make it.
I can imagine one was a success and they're trying to squeeze more money out of this franchise or some BS. You know, like a crappy sequel.
I can see that, yeah. A lot of the time sequels aren't as good as the first. Mm-hmm. In this case, this one's probably better than the first.
It was better.
Up until Dumb and Dumber 2, 2014, this was the only sequel to a Jim Carrey film to actually feature Carrey.
Wow, that makes sense. Mask 2 didn't have him. Dumb and Dumber 2 didn't have him.
I forgot there was a mask. Son of the Mask.
Yeah, Son of the Mask.
Yeah, so just this and then the Dumb and Dumber sequel.
Yeah.
His only sequels he's ever done. According to Jeff Daniels, Jim Carrey had explained to him the reasons why he didn't like the sequel much. He disliked the whole Ace is afraid of bats angle as he found it to be cheap, and even fought the director about changing the script so that Ace was merely allergic to bats. Carrey was also very nervous about this film's depiction of the native characters and that people might take offense to them. He's even surprised the film hasn't been outright banned. Wow.
Pretty woke for the time.
I mean...
Woke-ish. He still did it.
Yes, but also when you think about the first film and the whole transgender thing, how woke is he really?
I mean, when I say woke, all right, you'll come to find that most people don't tackle every issue. So he did not tackle the gender issue that well, but he's apparently tackling race and culture issues pretty well. I mean, you can definitely fault him for the other things, but you can't take this as away because of his other faults. I don't know.
I feel like I've seen other movies when they had tribes in them that were pretty bad, and I don't think this one. Yeah, the Bumblebee tuna line is not the best.
It's the worst part, probably.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm also not a part of any tribe culture or anything like that, so there's only so much I can say. But I guess it could have been a lot worse, is what I'm trying to say, ultimately. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, good for him for being worried. But then again, he still did it.
He still did it, though, yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is probably why he did it. Jim Carrey was paid $15 million to reprise the part of Ace Ventura. Exactly half of the film's $30 million budget.
Dang.
Half
Jim Carrey,
the budget.
Jim Carrey was such a hot commodity, man.
Yeah.
He made it in his first few films, and he could just retire. He's done.
And that's why he was like, yeah, I don't agree with the cultural tribeness things that we're doing here.
And they're like $15 million, and they're like, really?
Alrighty then.
Actually, it was the joke in there too when he was a monk and he's like swore off of finding and protecting. Because like they'll pay you $20,000, and he's like, really? So yeah, that's his character right there.
That's so funny. And it was actually the film's writer and Carrey's friend Steve Oedekerk who suggested he negotiate with Morgan Creek Productions for this. Conveniently, Oedekerk himself became the film's director, who then finalized this decision.
Wow, an inside man, baby.
Right? Jim Carrey spent a lot of time off sick, which affected the contract of actor Simon Cowell. Cowell's contract had actually expired before he could finish filming his scenes. Despite this, he wasn't paid overtime, as Carrey's illness was regarded as an act of God, quote-unquote, and the contract, which Carrey himself claims as unfair. Since Cowell already had other commitments in London, the producers suggest he flew back regularly in first class, as the contract had stated. It wasn't until later that Cowell found out that the producers were deducting the cost of his plane tickets from his overall salary. In his words, he finished up working almost for nothing. That is some bullshit. You're gonna pay Jim Carrey half of your budget?
$15 million, and he's sick.
And then his partner in the movie essentially gets nothing?
I mean, he got something. They just weren't giving him free planes, right? Free first class.
They were taking it out of his money, what he should have been paid. So, depending on how many flights he had to take, I don't know how much he was getting paid. That's not something that's disclosed here, but...
Jeez.
Yeah, bullshit. Jim Carrey said that after doing this movie, he realized he could not spend his entire life doing Ace Ventura movies. Writer/director Steve Oedekerk felt the same way and also moved on to other projects.
Good.
Yeah, but we didn't need any more.
Yeah. We didn't even need this one, but we got it.
The Farrelly brothers were offered the chance to direct, but declined, feeling that they were the wrong people. They're the ones that directed Dumb and Dumber.
Okay, yeah.
Despite Jim Carrey only doing this movie due to contractual obligation, the studio attempted to get him interested in doing another Ace Ventura movie several times throughout the years, in which he declined. Thank God.
Right? He has some sense.
Yeah. Ace Ventura shared the same hairstyle with another character created by Steve Oedekerk, Jimmy Neutron.
Bum, bum, bum. I did not know that.
I mean, if you were to put them next to each other, yeah, they do.
I do. And it was the same creator?
Yeah.
That's a fun fact right there.
That is fun. While talking in his sleep, Ace Ventura uses a feminine voice with a stereotypical Southern accent. He dreams about flirting with the heroic Mr. Beauregard. This is a reference to Pierre Gustave Touant Beauregard. That's too many names, bro. He was a prominent general of the Confederate States Army. Beauregard was from Louisiana, and his family was of French Creole descent.
Interesting. I was wondering if they were referencing like Gone with the Wind or something.
You know, that's what I immediately thought, and I haven't seen, because I'm not going to read Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in such a long time that I was like, I don't know what his name is, so I don't know.
Beauregard. Then now knowing that, what type of joke is that? That he's romancing an old Confederate general?
I think it just goes with the fact that he was putting on a Southern,
I see,
like hospitality type, you know, that stereotype. I think that's why.
All right.
When listing other words that start with sh after hearing of the Shikaka, Ace includes Shawshank Redemption. Bob Gunton, who plays Borton Quinn, also starred in the Shawshank Redemption.
Good reference.
The monster truck in the film was originally called Push and Stomp before being repainted.
Because all monster
Nice.
trucks have names, I guess. Kind of like, like wrestlers.
Do they?
Yeah, when you go to like monster truck shows, they're not saying like, and the driver in this truck. They're like, the curb stopper.
That's true.
Tire down. We're going to look up monster truck names after this.
Oh, we should. One of the two Australian villains of the film claims to recognize the sounds of a female silverback gorilla. No such thing exists. The term the term silverback doesn't refer to a species of gorilla.
I knew it.
Older male gorillas are called silverbacks because they develop grayish white hair on their shoulders and backs as they age.
Yes.
I bet if your mom were to watch this movie now,
I
she
should
would
have
be-
known it. I'm almost ashamed.
Yeah. When meeting the tribal chief of the Wachiti, was it Wachiti? Is that how?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ace pretends to speak another African language and has the chief puzzled. That I didn't care for that part either. I forgot about that. That part was pretty. And then that's when the chief was like, I don't understand his
Your
dialect.
dialect.
Yeah. All right. Okay. He's actually using lyrics from the song "Chim Chim Tree" introduced in the in the film Mary Poppins.
Okay. It's a bad joke.
I still didn't like
It's
it.
a bad
yeah.
joke, but I get it now.
Ace wears Ray-Ban Balarama sunglasses. Sunglasses. The location of Africa where Ace Ventura arrives is called Bonai Province, Nibia. The province is fictional, but historically Bonai was the name of a princely state in India. Its capital was the town of... Bonegara,
Keep on going.
which currently is part of Indian federal state of Odisha.
Obviously, we all know that, guys and gals.
Is it better that they would use a made-up place and not just picking a place in Africa?
That's what I was asking earlier. Like, is it worse or better that they didn't do correct things and then butcher the correct thing to be bad? It's just an entirely made-up thing.
But then they just took a real thing from a different country, and I don't know. That seems weird too. I don't know. This is too much for me to take on.
For an Ace Ventura 2 movie.
Yes. So you all let us know what you think
Please.
on these hot
takes.
topics. Yeah.
Hot topics.
The film is set in the fictional country of Nubia. The name is probably a reference to either the region of Nubia, divided between Egypt and Sudan, or the country of Namibia. Interesting. Okay.
Interesting. I thought Nibia was a place. I was fooled.
Like when and Jimmy Kimmel, when they went around and they're like, "Can you show us where Wakanda is on the map?"
Oh, man. That was some funny stuff.
This is really no different though. Somebody was like, "Can you show me where Nibia is?" I'd be like, "Oh."
Somewhere in Africa. Ace Ventura 2 taught me so.
Ace exclaims "Wunderbar" while forming a plan to infiltrate the Wachutu tribe's village. The term is German for wonderful. It derives from the German term "Wunder," which, depending on context, means miracle, wonder, and marvel. Wunder is cognate of the modern English term wonder, the Middle English term wonder, and the Old English term wondor. So, honestly, you need to be reading this because it's all spelt differently.
Man, when did this turn into a German class? German language class?
Right? Yeah.
This is trivia. Like, they use a Spanish word, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so the Middle English term is Wunder, and the Old English term is Wundor.
Oh, man,
So that's why, yeah, you have to read it to understand this trivia.
What a nerd.
It just sounds stupid. I'm like, wonder. Wonder.
It's a nerdy, boring fact. It's like, and Ace Ventura used a piñata. Piñata is a Spanish term for hanging animal, which derives from the term. It's like, this isn't a fun fact anymore. It's a class.
Don't you like to learn? Many different animals are seen in the movie whose ranges are all across Africa. For example, chimpanzees and rhinos are both seen. However, in reality, their ranges don't overlap anywhere in Africa. That's how you know this place is not real. The opening scene where Ace tries to save the raccoon is a spoof of the opening scene of Cliffhanger. Spoiler alert for Cliffhanger.
Yeah, spoiler. But now I get it. I get that joke now. Before I'm just like, he's climbing a big old mountain.
See, wouldn't it have added?
It would,
If you knew
but as a kid,
Cliffhanger?
I still thought it was funny that he was up there saving a raccoon, vomiting into a bird.
It wasn't as funny as it could have been.
But there's a lot of things that could be better than what they could be. And we're not like...
Okay.
Look, I don't want to get got, though.
Yep.
You got to get before you get got.
Yep.
Cut
That's
that
true.
out.
No, I'm leaving that one. So yeah, that's all the trivia. Some fun stuff, some not some fun stuff. I butchered a lot of words.
Yes.
Didn't even attempt to the words because I knew I was going to butcher them.
Yeah, we should have prepped for this, but oh well.
What? No, I never. No, that's not how I roll. It's not how we roll. So yeah, overall, Ace Ventura, it's fine.
It is fine. Definitely fine.
Middle of the road.
If you grew up with it, you'll like it. It's better than the first one. If you hated the first one, you'll probably hate this one. But if you kind of like the first one, then you'll like this one better.
Yes. So yeah, make sure you let us know what movies you want us to watch.
Next, or
like,
maybe
subscribe, whatever.
soon we'll have a guest on. So.
Oh yeah, we're gonna start having some guest stars.
And we'll get to watch their movies that they have nostalgia
choose,
for.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. We also plan on doing an indie month. And yeah, we're gonna start doing an indie month. We want to start, changing some stuff up. Try to get more
variety.
Yeah, and more direct with our choices. So there's, I guess, a theme that we're doing.
Yes.
Let us know what you all think about that idea. And yeah, comment, like, subscribe. Let us know.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody in Libya.
And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.